All right, Connected family. Hey, today we have a really special guest with us. His name is Alik. Flew in from Austin, Texas to be with us today. You know, over the last couple months, I've gotten to spend a lot of time with Alik, just with Kennected, helping him get onboarded and set up and using the system. And man, this guy has so many cool resources, tools, nuggets of knowledge when it comes to really scaling your business and leveraging operations, systems, and processes. So I thought it would be useful for him to come into the studio today, kind of share some tips, tricks, and strategies to help you guys kind of get to that next level and really dive deep into the importance of systems and processes. So, Alec, why don't you tell the Kennected family who you are and maybe a little bit of your backstory?
Awesome. Thanks for having me, Cody.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also the Indiana hospitality. Appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem.
First time here. I'm liking it. So I'm originally from Dallas-Fort Worth area, born and raised there. I moved to Austin about 6 years ago, and get my degree in college, get in marketing, and also I was with Apple and growing a business on the side.
Wow.
When getting my degree in marketing, I wanted to walk out and be a CMO, but you can't do that with a piece of paper.
Right.
So I started helping out small businesses for free and helping them drive traffic towards their business, and they started paying me. And so Lily had a check, and I was like, what do I do with it?
Yeah.
Just created GenWise there. And then from there, we created a marketing agency helping out more of these small businesses. But time and time again, we kept on blowing out their back end.
Yeah.
And 2015 is when marketing automation really started to take off.
Sure.
And so we really learned how to leverage that. But every time we kept on running into operational issues with our clients because we'd bring them that demand, but kind of think of that ship that's sailing and it's taking on water and it's just sinking. They got too many holes. So I was like, wow, like businesses, you got a front end and back end.
Yeah.
They're just so front end. Exactly. Yeah. And time and time again, they didn't have the proper resources or people to tap in to help scale their back end. And so I kept on seeing that repeatedly. And 2017, I had a choice, like, do I work my way up through Apple, go to JP Morgan Chase, or scale up GenWise? And so we flipped over more to like full on operations, where we have our studio today, helping entrepreneurs build their companies through operations and just-in-time resources. Yeah. So it's been an amazing journey, and we help people with just an idea launch into the market or get them investor ready. And then also too, these existing B2B services, helping them to sassify their offering.
Sassify.
Yeah.
I like that.
Thank you.
I like that. Yeah. So basically your story then is you started off in helping, companies figure out how to increase sales.
Correct.
But then you realize this massive issue of it's like, hey, we're just causing more problems because you don't have a structure, you don't have a foundation. On a scale of 1 to 10, how important is it for businesses to have a steady foundation, a good back end in operations?
I would say 10 because, there's a saying that sales heals. It does, but you also have repercussions of it. Yeah. So if you can understand the demand that your team can handle, and if that's the right demand that you're all hitting your numbers, you're doing great. But obviously, if you want to scale it, you really got to really dive deeper more in your back end, and that can mean multiple things. That's what processes are you have in place, from your onboarding to offboarding. This could be new hires, from consultants to employees, how you bring your customers in, also to the people. Do you have the right people in the right seats, especially getting you to that next level?
Jim Collins, good to great.
And then also technology side, because that technology you're using right now, can it get you to that next level? Sure. So you got to analyze really those three pillars. Who's your back end is your people, process, technology. How are those working together? And then can that bring you to that next level that you're defining and your goals and objectives? Sure.
Talk to me about the importance of systems, right? Talk to me about the importance of systems. This is an interesting conversation you and I were having, where it's important to have systems. It's also important not to have too many systems. So talk to me about that.
Definitely. So we ran into this as well. We were using every software known to mankind. We're like the guinea pigs. Any kind of new software comes out, we're always trying out first. Sure. And then recommending over to our clients. But really, I call it you want to have 3 to 5 main tools. Of course, you have ancillary tools, kind of think of your core stack that everyone has to use. And you got your marketing stack, or your front end, marketing and sales, what technology they need. And then the back end, such as your QuickBooks, and, whole lines on that. But your core stack is for example, we use Google Workspace. So we have our Gmail, our Drive, our calendar. So everyone needs to have that Google account. And then also Miro. Miro is how we organize our thoughts. We can collaborate all within that software. Like you can see each other's cursors.
Miro, how do you spell that?
Miro.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Cool. And then lastly is Notion, which is our operating system. And why we've used Notion, it's no code. And you can really build out what you want in there without bringing like a developer in. Of course, there is some, like say if you're scaling, you need some more automation. Of course, probably ClickUp or some other apps could be better, but we really like Notion because you can go in there and it's really like known to like organize your thoughts in that software. So like being able to organize your whole business within there and then also create custom workspaces per employee because every person needs to have different data.
Sure.
So how are they seeing that? What do they like to see? Like how's their workflow?
Yeah.
And we try to emulate that. So that's really what we call our core 3. And then from there we have like other like CRMs that we use, like analytical tools, but I don't want my team to really mess with those. A few people do, but really the core 3 is like what everyone messes with.
I love that.
Yeah.
And Kennected.
That's part of our front end stack.
That's awesome, man. Dude, you got to probably be one of the most efficient people I've ever met. It was funny because you were using my office yesterday while you were here, and I had like 15 of our guys come like, "What's he doing?" Because you had like the whole virtual reality Oculus on, and you got all your screens up in virtual world. And I was like, he doesn't want to waste time, bouncing around from computer screen to computer screen, tab to tab. Like he just wants to see everything in one place, so he's more efficient.
100%. You can bring your workflow on the go.
So now, unfortunately, other guys want me to buy them all of these. They're like, dude, we can just work from home now because we want to be more efficient with our Oculuses. Like, this is not.
Hey, they can still work from the office. Because what's cool with that is like your workspace is like on the go. You can have your Oculus right on, and just get right into your flow. And you can have like 5 screens going. So say if they're on the sales side, you got your Kennected up, then you got your whatever CRM you are using, where you're taking notes, and then say if you got a Zoom call going. It's kind of weird, like kind of being on an Oculus and like having video on, like my team's like, oh, it looks so weird. Because like you have the video going, it's just your Oculus and they can't really see your face. But if you have the video off, it could be better. But yeah, it is a little weird with like kind of doing like Google Meets and Zooms with it on. But if you have the video off, it's not bad.
So another question, Alec, would be, the importance of onboarding. Right? Like we're really big on making sure our customer has a good experience and has all the right tools and resources and education on how to leverage our platform. And that's something that I know you and your team are really big on as well. Talk to me about the importance of onboarding, not just from a product standpoint on your systems, but really teaching your clients how to onboard properly.
Yeah. And with like onboarding side, it means multiple things. So you got your like how you onboard your customers, new staff, that could be employees, contractors. But when we first go in and help our clients with onboarding, we analyze how you currently doing this, especially on the client side. Let's also run some surveys to see like what's working. Yeah. And then also from there, once you kind of identify kind of the onboarding that's currently happening, then we can put a list together, some recommendations like, hey, your onboarding process broke here and here. The transitions from sales over into fulfillment, it wasn't a smooth transition. So how can we make this more of a friendly handoff over to fulfillment side? And then also with the staff side, what we do is like, we talk with the executives, like, hey, like what are you seeing like on the onboarding side can be better? But what more importantly is the people on the ground. What's going on there? Like let's get the data we need, such as surveys. We get on like some Zoom interviews and like discuss with them like, hey, what's going right? What's going wrong? What would you recommend? Like you're in this day to day. And we get that intel and put together a plan like, hey, this is the cost of implementing this. Because when you're implementing a new like onboarding process or improving it, of course it comes with that documentation, but then you have the training that comes with that. Yeah. So we usually like say if we're totally redoing the onboarding process and we solidify like, hey, how we're going to implement this, we actually like we do one-on-ones and remote into their computer and get them all set up.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Because like if you're on Google, now you got Office 365 with Edge. We try to get everything in their browser, like all bookmarked, also all their passwords within that for their work environment. It's like, hey, just work from your Edge browser, Microsoft, Google, hop in that Chrome and make sure you got it all signed in. And also, don't sign in under your Gmail account.
Yeah.
Go to the top right where you see that little photo, tap that and add an account and add your actual company there, because you can toggle in between.
Okay.
And it makes it a lot easier. And we find that time and time again, a lot of people are signing to their Gmails. Instead, they should be signing into their own company account.
Oh.
Yeah.
How many touch points do you have with your clients that you bring on with GenWise, right? How many touch points do you have with them? And how long do you typically work with a client?
Yeah, so we definitely have helped a host of different like clients in different industries, and so it varies. But within this B2B services area, typically this could be like 6 months or even a year. But also too, if you already have like a great team, how can we enhance your team? Because having like an outside party like looking in, and also like this really like trying to collaborate, co-build with each other. It's like, hey, here's the projects, because we first go in and model them out. Because if we don't understand how your company works, then how can we give you recommended solutions?
Right.
So that's where that modeling comes in, where we really get your business model down, such as a business model canvas, and then also journey flows, like how do you bring in new clients, new hires, contractors, employees? How's your whole back end work from the billing side? So we get that whole modeling down and put together a build plan, which is 90 days. And that build plan, once we get the data from the modeling, we put that together with the executives like, hey, really in these next 90 days, what is the no more than 3 objectives that we're going towards? And once we solidify those objectives, we get to understand the budgets. What's the budgets available to reaching these objectives? And then that also dictates the projects that we can get done within that time span. And then we help kind of manage that implementation side, because we have a whole partner network as well of lawyers, accountants, marketers, creatives, a lot of other people that do like a lot of heavy Zapier connections. So it really just comes down to what are they trying to achieve there? Because like when you're trying to grow to that next stage, I mean, that's 3 things there. I mean, are you trying to grow your front end, like your marketing and sales side, your back end, such as your people, process, technology to handle that demand? Or lastly is the productization, that's where the real money's at, is there. So that's really get granular there with a build plan, because most times companies are scatter building and you're using resources ineffectively. So that's where we can really help, of getting a solid plan forward and also owning that plan to see it through. So yeah, our typical arrangements are at least 4 months, and then can go. We have clients that are over 2 years with us.
It means you're doing a good job.
Yes.
You know, I think every entrepreneur, every business owner starts out with, I want to bring this product or this service to life. I want to bring it to market. So I need to sell. I need to grow the business by providing this product or this service, which is great, right? Like that's the conception of every business, right? Here's an idea. Now I need to sell my idea to the marketplace, which is awesome. But what gets overlooked is 95% of all of the operations, all the processes, all the systems, right? And you can go out and sell stuff, right? But still not be efficient and not maximize your potential. And so that's really why I love what you guys do, right? Because we went through this exact same thing, where in the beginning it was, let's sell as many accounts as we can sell, and then we broke our system, right? And thank goodness we have Brandon, one of our partners, who is just a legend at operations. You and him obviously speak the same language. I'm not an organized person at all. I don't understand processes and systems, but I do understand the importance of them. And I understand the importance of people like you, especially how you're kind of like a mercenary, in the sense of, you're not necessarily a partner in one company. Like, you're coming in and plugging into all of these different ecosystems and helping businesses expand by, you know what I mean? Like, you're going into multiple different verticals at the same time. So I think that's really cool, man. Talk to me about sassifying. We had a great conversation about sassifying, or getting sassy. Talk to me about that.
Yeah. And so really, because we've had a lot of like startup experience of helping people just idea and just building it with minimal resources, like early stage startups. And so we had a client in Austin that we helped her traditional HR company, which is very project based, and we helped her sassify her offering. And what we did as well, because like, you can code out a whole new like software and stuff. That takes time, money, and course strategy, and who's managing that. Because developing your own software always gets a little like, there's always problems that arise in software.
I know.
And so with sassifying, like, you can look at your offer, because if you're a B2B service and you're already having a stunning offer, and you're having that residual clients still coming in, like, you obviously have success. How can we build that success into a new offer. And that new offer, we can grab off the shelf technology to get that outcome to further digitize that service that you're already providing and figure out how we can get recurring revenue into the company as well. Because this new offer, like we want to get it out to the market as soon as possible. Let's use the current data that you have. Let's craft a new offer, get it out there to the market, see how it's resonating. Also, you have a current customer base as well. See if they want this new offer as well. Once you get the data for that offer with the existing technology that we put in place, this is always a lot cheaper getting that way. It's like, let's get out to the outcome, get to the market as soon as possible, learn with it, bring those learnings where we can then create our own custom software that we can then bring out to the market.
That's awesome.
So you just don't have to solve everything through code. Just get something, what I call as a proof of concept, because there's also an MVP. Get your proof of concept. It's existing technology, leveraging that, and then move over into your MVP. And you kind of sassifying, you need at least 30 to 50K kind of budget to really kind of make a solid software.
So with this is an interesting question. With all the softwares, technologies that are coming into the market, what are you most excited about? Even using for yourself?
Yeah, I would say really Notion has been like that go-to, but I know people want more automations or something like ClickUp. But really what I see, like small businesses are trying to create like an ERP, which is like enterprise, like resource planning, which is basically a software that brings all your softwares in one place. But usually enterprise has really only had access to that kind of technology because it's kind of expensive. But now you got like stuff like Coda, ClickUp that you can take advantage of, or even create your own softwares now to get that outcome. So.
And what about virtual reality? Do you think that's going to be a major player?
Yeah, virtual reality would definitely be a major player. You got something like Oculus Quest 2 that's made through Facebook, and you got something called Immerse VR, where you can hop in the VR space and you get like 5 different screens in there. You can just hop in, so you have your kind of your workspace on the go or right here in the office, and you can work with your team in it.
What is, I guess, what's the takeaway that our audience, right? So Kenneked's clientele is people who are looking to automate their systems, automate their lead flow, basically get to their desired results faster, right? Like what's one takeaway that you could give our audience that's going to add value and help them scale quicker?
Yeah, I would say take a step back and analyze, because you can keep on scaling, moving forward, but there's what I call trench. Like you're just in the trenches and you're not putting your head up. And you're just keep on digging more in that hole. So I really recommend just like take a breather also with your team. Like, hey, like Cody, how are you doing? Is there anything on your side? Like say you're handling like your CMO, whatever, and you got your COO, CFO, like they're all in the different areas of the business and seeing different things. Like, hey, let's all make sure we're on the same page. And let's make sure we model out like, hey, we said we're getting this kind of growth. Are you hitting your objectives, et cetera? So like, it's really good to take a step back, because you can be running forward and it's costing your company. You're just moving at all costs. Not really taking that breather to make sure like, hey, is this the right direction that we're taking the company?
No, I couldn't agree more, man. I mean, that's been kind of the mantra over the last 6 months is for us, how do we slow down, analyze what the things that we did right and the things that we did wrong? Because, you know, if you're moving 1,000,000 miles an hour in business, so many times like you're so focused on what's ahead that you forget to look back and see all of the missed opportunity, all the damage that you created, and none of it was malicious, right? Like nobody's trying to do things that aren't efficient or productive, but we get so focused on the end goal that we don't take time to actually process the things that we could be doing better. Right. And so I love what you do, man. I love how you just even through our conversations, like I've been applying some things. Like I'm going to go out and buy me an Oculus 3
Let's
so
go.
I can look silly in my office when I'm doing stuff. So next question, Alik, talk to me about sassifying your company. Talk to me about what it means to get sassy with your operations.
Yeah. And thank you, sassify. It's such a great word. And how you can do that, especially with the B2B services side, like you already have a great service, and you have lots of data. And you can really kind of hone in to create a new offer. Because within B2B SaaS, it's a $76 billion industry right now.
76 billion.
And it's only growing. And then you got companies out in like Silicon Valley that's raising millions, and they're hitting different verticals from accounting to finance to legal to even VA, design and marketing services. So like they're using technology and creating these recurring revenue streams with it, like subscriptions, and then they're taking market share. So like, how's these traditional B2B services? You're already doing very well. You already have a client base and you're growing, but how's your company making that transition to B2B SaaS? Because B2C it's already been disrupted and it's just overcrowded. So now you're having more people come into B2B SaaS side and they're growing that. So now like your technology on your phone, like you hop on your consumer apps on your phone, it's always going to beat your business apps.
Yeah.
And that's going to be changing here in less than 5 years.
Wow.
So money's just getting more poured into that. So that's what we're really trying to help now is like B2B services using these startup tactics to help them transition into B2B SaaS.
Wow.
Because and how you can transition to B2B SaaS in a way that doesn't totally disrupt your company, because you do need some capital to do that.
Yeah.
But luckily you're already around, you have revenues, you have experience, you have data, and also too, you can tap into like loans.
Yeah.
You got the SBA side, you're already making like revenues. So you don't really need to raise that investor capital.
Sure.
So I would say they're almost at an advantage, because when you're doing a startup, you have no data, you got to go figure it out. You
got to get money.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So if you can leverage a way of transitioning your company into SaaS without breaking it, that's the golden egg there. And how we found that is like, hey, you already have these offers already resonating into the market. You have this data. Let's craft one offer that we can put together that still complements what you're already doing, and use off-the-shelf technologies to get that offer out into the market quicker. And we can leverage your current customer base as well to hop on this new offer. And then from there, you can run a landing page with 2 ads, bringing traffic to that new offer. That offer is resonating, which is that proof of concept. MVP is different. Proof of concepts, like we just want to get it out there, get some data, and learn from it. Exactly, and not spin an arm and a leg to do it.
100%.
And then once that offer is resonating, then you have that data to then create that MVP, which is about 30 to 50,000, because it's custom software. Sometimes you can potentially get lower than that, but it's really depending what you're trying to do. Then from there, use that data to then craft over that new offer. Of course, you need to get the design down, supposedly that spec. Like, this is the spec of features. This is the competition. This is the inspirations we're drawing from. Here's the design of it. Because solve your problems through design. Just don't run into code.
Sure.
It's messy when you do software. So get that nice product spec from that data that you collected, get designed out of like what that new software will look like, and then develop it out.
That's incredible.
Yeah.